Hello everybody, welcome to another charting session here on the channel. Today is March 14th and I took one trade today and that trade was a winner. So it's been a couple days, it's been about like 6 days since I recorded my last charting session. I took a little bit of a break because I had a couple things personally to do and I also had ACT to study for, which did not go good at all. But yeah, so first let's look at this daily chart. I want you to notice how we have been just sort of chop grinding up, okay? But lately, these past couple days, we've kind of just been creating this sort of little wedge thing. It's been getting smaller. Action has not been that great, all right? So I have not been able to get many good trades, especially because to form a good bias and to have a trade or to have a day with good action, you're going to want the daily bias, like these daily candles, to show good action, right? So this right here is probably, followed by this right here and, this. It's just been a slow grind up. Action has not been that great. So going down into this lower time frame, if we go down to the 4 hour, you can see we have just been in this sort of range for a while, right? We have this high and this low. We do have sort of these engineered liquidity stacked lows, which is a good target. We also have some fair value gaps right here that look like they want to get targeted. But yeah, we're mostly just in this range. So looking at the 1 hour, back on Friday of last week, we had this massive 1 hour fair value gap created. And with this fair value gap created, especially since it's at the top of the move, and it also aligns with this bigger time frame OTE, this fair value gap is going to be pretty valid, right? It's going to be a fair value gap that we're most likely going to reject off of. So if we head down to here, we can see we did reject off of that. We also created this internal manipulation. And this internal manipulation can be used with standard deviation. And there's a lot more concepts that I've been learning recently that I will be adding into my course. There's going to be probably honestly 15 more lessons that I'm going to add into my course. It's going to take a while, but it's going to be a couple months until they're out. But I have to learn all these concepts first to fully master them, and I'm going to teach them. So first of all, you can see we got this 1 hour. We also have sort of this area right here of consolidation, which is sort of like an order block. And we have this breaker right here that we have been rejecting. We rejected off of. So you can also see that we rejected off of this golden ratio, right? And for sort of bigger moves like this, golden ratio is pretty well. It works pretty well. So we rejected off of that and we came down. And first thing that happened was we created this SMT, and we also got into this -2 to -2.5 area. So it's standard deviation. Usually what you're going to want to see is us go down to this 2 to 2.5 area. Then it's going to retrace to discount of this move. And as you can see right here, this is discount of that move. I know it's kind of hard to see, but just try your best. This is discount of that move. We tapped into it. And on the 15-minute here, we also tapped into this order block. And secondly, we created a double SMT. So we have an SMT here, and we also have this other SMT right here. And so you can also see on ES, if I go here, this is the SMT. And looking at this SMT, I want to see this. I want to see if this would work. Okay, so yeah, this -4 is close to this level right here. So what happened here was in this structure, we bounced off this 1 hour for value gap, respected it. This is showing us that we're going to be bullish, okay? We got this move down to -2, -2.5, which also shows bullish. We retraced back up, and then we got a rejection off of this, okay? So into this morning, after we done that, I drew out OTE of this range right here, this morning range, and this was created Thursday. This is all Thursday's action. Okay, this was all last night's action, and we had this strong sell-off from maybe S or FOMC, I don't remember, but caused us to have a massive sell-off, respecting this OTE level. And I think this OTE was actually created afterwards. Hold on. Yeah, it was created afterwards. But we had a nice sell-off, came down here, and I was looking to see us retrace back up to this 15-minute breaker. So we had a couple of PD arrays aligned. So number one, we had this 15-minute breaker. Number two, we had tapped back up into OTE of the range. Number three, we had this internal sweep. So we had this internal sweep right here, which is perfectly aligned with this breaker block. So I'll just put this there. And then I also want to see if this created an SMT. So looking over here. Okay, right here. So this did create an SMT. So in addition to all that, we had this beautiful SMT right here. Okay, this is very, very clean action, very, very clear bias, showing us that we are about to sell off. Okay, so after we tapped this area and I saw us reject, I put my short entry here and I put my stop up to here. And the reason I did is because we may have tapped this possible breaker, right? This double breaker. And also we may have wanted to go to OTE, but I did not want to see us go above this high. So I put my stop at this high, but I was anticipating a massive sell-off right away. So that's exactly what happened. We sold off, and I caught this 100-point move. The only thing is that I only had one single micro, because one, I was wanting to re-add if we got a retracement back up, but we got no retracement. And two, I also have just lost a lot of trades in a row, so I didn't want to put on a high size. Just because the market, we've just been in this range, right? It's not a time to put on high size. So 2 micros to me is high size just because I'm trying to master with low money. 1 micro was enough to get me to one of my payout days. So beautiful. So in addition to that, right after this trade ended, and I took it off at this low. I just got off. I didn't want to worry about the market. I did not want to put another trade in. And as you can see, for a while we just consolidated, and that's kind of what we did for a little while. We had this push up, so I'm gonna try to sort of determine how this could have happened. So first of all, we had this. So we had this retracement up, tapped into discount, and hit this. Then when we went down, we ended up going to this -4 area at the very end of the day. And that was kind of just like the main target of this move, was to go to this -4 area or this this liquidity right here, because that's the closest thing to -4. So we also had, I don't need this on the chart, but we sort of just chopped. But looking at this, looking at what I think is going to happen next is, well, first of all, let me put this short. Let me, now that I've talked about this, I'm going to sort of clear the chart here. I'll just clear this stuff. I'll keep this order block still in here. Right, we have this SMT still. This SMT right here was used to make us go up to discount. I can remove that now. I'll also, yeah, I'll just keep these. So, looking at this, what I really don't want to see us do is I don't want to see us go back up into here and break this high, because if we start making our way back up, we're going to still be in this range. I want us to get out of this range. More preferably just this range, right? This is just a massive range that's been going on for a couple days. I want to see this. I want to see price break out of that, and that's most likely what price is going to want to do to start heading lower in the markets. We're going to need that to happen. Either that happens, or we will, if we look at this 4 hour, we may bounce off of one of these fair value gaps, manipulating this low just to go higher. And that would also make sense because it would sort of be a power 3. We would have accumulation all of here, and then this would be our manipulation into a PD array. I'm also just going to draw this out as well. So here's OTE, and yeah, I mean, it is possible we may bounce off of OTE here, so I'm going to actually mark this out. I think I have something called OTE. Let me look here. I don't think I do. Oh, OTE line. Okay, perfect. So here's OTE. I'll also mark at golden ratio. But I'm also going to sort of go through the charts a little better, and maybe, you know, once I'm learning more concepts, I'm really trying to learn concepts with the daily chart, but it's not really working at the moment because daily chart's not that good. But what I am hoping is that if we can have this candle right here close below this candle, I do think we are going to have a massive rundown into probably here. And then hopefully we can keep going lower, right? But my bias is going to be bearish because that's what the market's most likely gonna want to do. So we've swept this, we rejected higher. We may just be trying to rebalance into this fair value gap possibly, and we may see lower. But let me look at the 1 hour. Another thing we could possibly do is go up to here. So I'm gonna mark this out. We may see like some sort of little small pump in the overnight session to rebalance to here before heading lower, just because we swept this liquidity. But let me also check to see, number one, is this in discount? It is in discount, and it also does align with OTE. So that's what we may see. We may see us go up to here, possibly wick this OTE, and head lower. But yeah, that is my bias for the overnight session. If we do break above this 1 hour fair value gap, then we most likely will come up to here and sweep this high and then maybe head lower, but I don't think action would be clear Friday if that happens. So let me also look at news here. So news, we have, wait, this was today. Let me look at tomorrow. All right, so tomorrow we have 8:30 news right here, Empire State Manufacturing Index. So that's going to be a volatile move. And then we also have prelim consumer sentiment at 10 a.m. So action in the morning will be pretty clean. So what I'm really hoping, if we can go up to this 1 hour, and let me draw this out. If we can go up to this 1 hour, right, reject off of it, and then form some internal structure here, right, we may see a sell-off. And something to first consider is that, well, number one, we had this massive wick here, okay? And if we mark out OTE of this, or not OTE, CE of this, which is consequent encroachment. Consequent encroachment is basically 50% of this wick. That's usually acting as a resistance, right? Or as a support line. So as you can see, price did wick it, but it kept rejecting back up. So we may most likely not get a sell-off right away. We're most likely going to come up and rebalance just because price is showing us, one, we're sweeping this level, two, sweeping this -4, and three, we're sweeping this, or we're respecting consequent encroachment of this wick. So we may head back down. And then another thing to look at is on this, well, we may possibly reject OTE of this wick, but I highly doubt it because this is not a prominent low. Like, it's not like something like this where we go up and go down. This is just going down and respecting this. So I don't think this wick's going to get respected. And I really don't think, see, if we go to the 4 hour, this should be a wick. I don't think it's going to get respected either. I mean, it could, but we do have this low right here, right? And then we also have these imbalances here and sort of this draw on liquidity of PD raise right here. So I really do have a bearish bias. But, I mean, never mark my word. I could be completely wrong. So that would make sense as well because we do have some engineered liquidity right here, right? We've been creating this engineered liquidity just to take it back out for this retrace and then to head lower. So that is what my bias is going to be. It's really all I have to say. I'm going to be recording better charting sessions and providing a lot better education, especially once I'm profitable. I'm going to really expand this community, get a lot of people in it, and hopefully help a lot of better traders, or hopefully help a lot of traders that are going to get better, because it is very hard in these markets to find good information from people, right? A lot of people are like gurus. A lot of people are not actually preaching what they do. Some people will also just, like, for example, they'll just paper trade, right? Show themselves making thousands of dollars when they're actually just, you know, trading with fake money. And then they get all these people in their community and they're like, hey, buy my course, spend money on me. And then that's how they make their money. And there's a lot of people out there, right? The difference with me is, like, I'm actually trying to become a better trader. That is my first priority. I'm trying to provide valuable information. I'm doing this all right in front of you. I'm clearly showing you I know what I'm doing. And also, I am trading with a real funded account. It's not just fake money. And I've been on the same account for like multiple months now, like 4 months now. I've been on the same account. And I've been break even for a while, but this is the part of my journey where I'm going to learn a lot more information, right? And then that's break even stage is going to soon become a profitable stage. It's all a long process. You can't rush anything. You have to take baby steps, because a lot of people, you know, they're influenced by the social media people and they're like, hey, I can do this too, right? But the honest truth is it's going to take months and months and years of learning, of studying by yourself, of actually getting the experience. So it's not easy. Trading is the hardest thing, one of the hardest things for people to learn. But in the long run, it's also the most amazing, right? Because you can just trade for a couple hours and be done with your day, right? Today I traded for, let me look at this. I took this trade. Let's see how long this trade was real quick. Actually, I cleared it out. It was right here though. Okay. This trade was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 minutes long. This is a 10-minute long trade. And I'm done with my day. Right? I'm making more money than most people my age make in an entire week. I made more money than most people in my entire age make in a week in just 10 minutes. Right? And that's the power of trading. And I know people that are making like tens of thousands. Right? People that did this trade, people I know are making tens of thousands of dollars. And that's because they've been trading for a long time, right? They've been trading for years. They've been getting really good at it. So it takes a lot of work, but if you put in the work, you're going to be set. And then finally, let me just real quick do this. I want to see if this tapped OTE. Yeah, look at that. With this range right here, we tapped OTE, starting to reject off, but we're going to come back up probably just a very little bit. Right, where did I say we're going to go to again? Yeah, that's 1 hour. So I'm going to take that off. But yeah, so that's all I have for this charting session. I hope you all got something out of it, and I will see you all in the next one.